What's going on there, everyone? Well, leave it to AOC to make my head explode. From Fox News, AOC says Palestinians have no choice but to riot against Israel. It's an interesting viewpoint. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez agreed that Israel is criminal in its treatment of Palestinians, whom she said have no other choice but to riot against the Jewish state. Yeah, because they have... riots are violent. So, she's pretty much expressing that, she condones violent actions against Israel. Neat. It's not something I think a Congress member of the U.S. should be saying, but let's move on. The New York Democrat made her remarks during an appearance on the hip-hop program Ebro in the Morning with Ebro Darden, where they touched on a variety of issues concerning the freshman congresswoman. The host asserted that corrupt governments in Israel, the United States, Russia, and Saudi Arabia were all working in concert. Is there any proof to any of that? No, absolutely not. And there's many reasons why these four entities would not all be working in concert. Because Saudi Arabia doesn't really care for Israel all that much. Russia and the United States don't really like each other that much, regardless of what the Democrats are saying. Russia is a threat to us, and we know that. And that's why we try to have diplomatic relationships with these people. It's for we kind of tone down the rhetoric in between countries, you know? But that seems to be treasonous to a Democrat. Or not all, but some Democrats. How would you have white supremacist Jews, Ebro asked? How do you have people like Stephen Miller? How do you have these individuals who are legit aligning with racism and white supremacy, but they're Jewish? And it's something that most people can't wrap their brains around, but it's a real thing. Well, most people aren't so fascinated with race. That also seems to be a big thing on the left nowadays. Conservatives, generally, for the most part, don't really care about race all that much, you know? And the left says just saying that you're pretty much colorblind when it comes to race is racist, which makes utterly no damn sense at all. None whatsoever. I choose not to worry about race. Why would that make me racist? You know, I see all Americans as Americans, regardless of race, religion, color, creed. It doesn't matter. You're my fellow Americans. You're my brothers and sisters. Whether I agree with you on anything or not, you still are. He added, and what's going on with Israel and Palestine? While it's very, very deep, it is very, very criminal, and it's very, very unjust. But rather than push back against claims of AOC's agreed with them, saying absolutely, and adding that I think too, where we're at as a country when it comes to Israel-Palestine is very much a generational issue. Why? Why is that a generational issue? She said the right wing unfairly accuses her of anti-Semitism when she's actually just being critical of the Israeli government. I mean, fair enough. I'll say fair enough to that. Criticizing the occupation doesn't make you anti-Israel, frankly. It doesn't mean that you are against the existence of a nation, she said. It means that you believe in human rights. And, oh, I love that argument. And it's about making sure that Palestinian human rights are equal to Israel human rights, or Israeli human rights. And there are a lot of troubling things happening there. Yeah, there is a lot of troubling things happening there. It's been happening there since the creation of Israel. And why does everyone, especially on the left, not saying all, as usual, but why do many on the left seem to think the Palestinians are just this poor, oppressed people? If you look at the facts of the matter, Israel's constantly under attack by the Palestinians. So when they harbor a little bit of angst towards them or whatnot, yeah, I get it. Because Palestinians are always either attacking the border of Israel or they're lobbing rockets into Israel. And you got to think, Israel, when it comes to their government, is extraordinarily diverse. You know, for a Jewish state, which everyone always likes to mention that it is a specifically Jewish state, is not true. There are Palestinians in the government there. There are Muslims in the government there. There are pretty much every major party type situation is represented in their government. I just don't understand why they only focus on one side of the problem. I mean, yes, it is a very volatile situation over there, and both sides have a little bit of blame for that. But these, especially the Justice Democrats, seem to only blame one side, which hence the reason why they get labeled anti-Semitic. Because they only seem to be bashing Israel all the time and not the Palestinians themselves for their actions. I don't get it. Ocasio-Cortez went on to say that Palestinians also have no other choice but to resort to violence as they are marginalized. That's a ridiculous statement to say. I can't believe she didn't think before she spoke that. But she, I mean, it's very clear that she doesn't think before she speaks about any dang thing. It's pretty dang clear. But yeah, she's pretty much right there. I mean, she supports violence against Israel. That's what I'm getting so far. Jewish people have been persecuted throughout all of human history, but I don't think that by marginalizing Palestinians, you create safety, she said. I believe that injustice is a threat to the safety of all people because once you have a group that is marginalized and marginalized and marginalized, once someone doesn't have access to clean water, they have no choice but to riot, right? And it doesn't have to be that way. You're right, it doesn't have to be that way. Because the Palestinians, you know what they could do? Start trying to fix their own little, their area. Instead of constantly attacking Israel, the border and all that, why don't they just try to work on their little area and make it better? This is another theme that I'm seeing with the left, is that they don't hold people accountable for themselves. You can see that with a lot of their policies when it comes to healthcare, this, that, and the other. They don't want people to hold themselves accountable for their actions. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. But she's she's one of these that always never ceases to amaze and never ceases to boggle the mind with the words that come out of her mouth. The Democrats' remark come at a time she and her fellow progressive freshman colleagues are being accused of anti-Semitism for embracing the boycott, divestment, sanctions (BDS) movement against Israel. Two other Democrats, Representative Rashida Tlaib and Ilham Omar, have recently compared boycotts of Nazi Germany to the boycotts of Israel, which was a stupid thing to say. These people are not that intelligent. I don't care what anyone says. I know I'm not that intelligent. I am a country bumpkin. I live in the county. I generally try to stay away from cities because cities are cesspools, in my opinion. And yeah, I think we got a real issue with these Justice Democrats. I don't know what the solution is besides to vote them out. Get them out of there, because they're not good for us as Americans. They're not, I mean, really, they put up illegal immigrants above American citizens on a lot of different situations. They're so worried about having illegal aliens be able to have free health care, this, that, and the other. And who's going to pay for all that? Us. We're the ones footing the bill. But these are radicals. These are people that should never, ever have power in a government. They are dangerous. They are dangerous. And the anti-Semitism on their part is real. And anti-Americanism on their part is real. It's clear to see with their own words. There's so many quotes you could look up from these three. I will say Ayanna Pressley, I give her a little bit more credit, even though I still, because she is part of these people, I still think she must obviously be absolutely insane. Or something. I don't know. But at least she's a little bit more quiet when it comes to extreme rhetoric. She doesn't generally put herself in the position to be criticized for extreme rhetoric, for the most part. But these three, Tlaib, Omar, and Cortez, I don't see why they're in the American government, because they're not here to help the citizens of America. They're here to push crazy, half of them conspiracy agendas. But what can you expect? What can you expect? I'd love to hear your comments on this. And as usual, like, share, and subscribe. I will catch you on the flip side.